Hey everybody, it's Sid from The Daily Driver. So I want to create a new series where we just talk about cars. I will introduce a topic and me and my buddy Tan will just talk about the cars, what we think, and give our feedback. And eventually we want to do this live where we can have an open discussion with a bunch of people online and, just shoot the shit. So getting into it, we're going to talk about the new Integra. So Tan, actually both of us, we both had Integras. Tan's probably had 5 different ones. I'll share some pictures. He had like a 400 wheel horsepower, JDM converted Integra. We both had 4-door Integras, and so the new Integra, when it came out, when we saw some of the renderings, or not renderings, we saw the production concept, that nameplate hits home with us. You know, it's something that we grew up driving, and now in our current state of our lives, we're a lot older now and we have more money than we did before. So it's definitely one of those cars that if they were targeting a specific market, it would probably be us, or at least that would make sense, just because we're the ones most familiar with that nameplate and we grew up Honda and Acura guys. So
yes,
Tan, I'm gonna send you some photos and you're gonna tell me what you think about the new Integra. I did a rendering of what I think the new Integra Type S would look like, and that's the thumbnail of this video. So let me send that to Tan, and then he could just digest it, and then I'm gonna show him pictures of the actual car, and we'll discuss the actual car. So boom, boom, boom. All right, here's my rendering, Tan.
Okay. Oh, that's an Integra render.
That's my Integra render. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that looks good.
So I took the Integra. I took this Integra. This is the concept that came out, or the prototype. I forget what they call it, but so I took their prototype picture and I basically shopped it. And their prototype picture is not. I don't think it looks as good, so I modified it myself.
You know what's funny? I think I like your rendering better than the picture on the bottom, like the actual car.
Oh yeah, of course.
Or the prototype. I
100%.
like yours. If they made the car like that, I think a lot of people would buy it. People would like it, you know?
So I took inspiration from the TLX Type S, and I basically took elements from the TLX Type S front bumper. So that's what that front bumper looks a lot like, the TLX Type S, because I took some inspiration from that. And actually, the side skirts, I don't know if you recognize what those side skirts look like, but they're actually like the side skirts from the current generation Accord.
Oh, okay.
So
that's good, man. Good.
Yeah. So, and then I took the wheels from the option wheels on the TLX Type S, and I made it white. And what's cool about the current or the new Integra is that it's got the frameless grille. I don't know if you noticed that, but you notice on the
frameless grille.
Yeah, because you know on the TLX has a frame around the grille. So on the new Integra, well, the new Integra doesn't have a frame around the grille. It's frameless.
Yeah, it's frameless.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So the reason why people don't like it is that side profile. I'm not bothered at all because I love like hatchback cars. So like,
yeah, you like.
I had the 4-door Grand Coupe, BMW Grand Coupe. It identical kind of profile. I love the Audi A5 Sportback. I think it's one of the most beautiful cars. I love Sportbacks. I was close to getting an A7, a Kia Stinger. I'm all about the 4-door hatchback. So this being a 4-door hatchback doesn't bother me at all. The side profile.
It's practical.
Yeah, I love the practicality. Side profile doesn't bother me at all. I did do a modification just to get rid of that sticker, so I'll send it to you. But
hey, do you think the Integra the body is very similar to the new Civic right now?
All right, so the Integra when it comes, the Integra base is going to be the Civic Si with Acura clothing. So they're basically the same car underneath, and even if you look at the profiles, the shapes of the windows and everything, it's almost identical.
Almost identical.
It's almost identical. The big difference is of course like all the body panels are slightly different, or not slightly different, are completely different, because it's got the Acura look. Now, that's what it looks like on the outside. Let me show you what the interior looks like, because the interior actually looks like the new Civic too. Sorry guys, I'm just recovering from COVID.
It is a Honda, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised, because back in the day, the Integra was like the Civic. It's just like the better Civic.
For us guys, we understand, like, the Integra was always a nicer Civic. It was always a nicer Civic.
It's just the better Civic.
So these
it looks nice. Like, looking at the new interior, the photos that's been leaked, it looks good. I mean, what's there to complain about it?
Exactly. And you know what?
It looks good.
And the Civic Si interior is nice. It's really nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if it is a Civic Si, underneath, basically, you know, this new Civic is a fantastic driving car. I haven't driven it, so I wouldn't actually know, but everybody that has driven it says it's amazing. I've driven the FK8, the previous generation, and the previous generation was a great driving car. So if this is even any better than the previous generation, it's going to be a good driving car. So so this is the current Civic Si. I just sent you a picture. That's a nice interior.
It looks good, man.
Dude,
the shifter, you know, the center console, it kind of looks the same too.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, here's a close up of the shifter of the new Civic Si, so you could compare the two. It looks almost like, I mean, it basically it's the same car.
It's the same.
The only thing that's different is like the Civic Si. It has like the vents. It looks like it has the same vent that continues all the way from the middle to like the passenger side. On the new Integra, it cut it off, so it actually has like center vents. But other than that, like even the locations of the dials, it lines up almost like perfectly with the Civic Si. Look at it. You see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, everything. It's like it's the same. It's just like a different piece of plastic trim that goes over it. It's crazy. It's identical, and I have no problem with it, because the new. Do you know how much the new Integra is supposed to cost?
The new Integras? How much?
Base price is going to be low 30s.
Low 30s?
Yeah, so the Civic...
the Civic is already, what, high 20s?
Yeah, so, 28, 29 is the base price of the new Civic. I don't know... 28, 29. Let me actually confirm that. But the new Integra base price is like low 30s. So if it's low... Let's say it's like all right, base price 28 grand. All right, so of the new Si, and the new Si doesn't have like the heated steering wheel, or the United States version anyways, doesn't have like, you know, heated seats and heated steering wheel and that jazz. But the new Integra base will probably have that. And then also, I think the new Integra's got like the 4-pot Brimbos up front. I think, I don't know if it's standard on the base or if that's part of an A-spec package, but the prototype that they showed had the 4-pot Brembos up front. So if it is like a sportier version that's a little bit more luxurious, I think it's a pretty fair price, because
factoring inflation.
Yeah. Well, all right. So here, the Civic Si right now, with the dealer markups, are going for like 40 to 50 grand. So this one's got more utility because it's got a hatchback. It'll probably be more luxurious in the back. I have a picture of the back. Let me send you a picture of the back. Because the one thing that you notice in the Civics is it's pretty nice in the front, but in the back of the new Civic, it feels really cheap. It feels like they took a lot of cost-cutting measures, and a lot of like economy cars, C-class cars, they do that, where the back, you feel like they skimped out. That's where they save money, because it's all about the people sitting up front. So I just sent you a picture of the back. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just but
I think it'll be great. The interiors, it's Acura, their interiors are always like really nice.
Yeah, and it's gonna be leather. It's gonna be leather. So the Civic Si, I don't think it's leather. I think it's just like cloth with like Alcantara inserts or whatever. But
yeah, then the Integra, it's gonna feel more luxurious. Like that's what Acura is about, It's gonna be like an upscale Civic.
Yeah, I like it, man.
It looks good.
I mean, and you know me, I'm all about hatches, and I'm all about 4-doors. So for me, appearance-wise, what you get for your money value, I think it hits all the marks. Now, it will have, wireless Apple CarPlay and the ELS sound system and all that. Probably won't have a panel roof, but I mean, for the price, right? All right, so let's talk about the engine. So,
yeah, the engine. Let's talk about that.
1.5 liter, 200 horsepower. Given the price, and this is where the Type S comes into play, because we know what the base engine is going to be.
Type S, right?
No,
1.5 liter turbo.
No. Well, the base is a 1.5 liter turbo, the same engine as the SI, but but we don't know any specs about the Type S yet. We know that there's going to be a Type S. We don't know. What engine.
They put no specs out yet for the Type S.
Yeah.
I mean, the car's not even out yet, so I mean, we gotta wait.
Yeah, we gotta wait. So if they charge, let's say base price of this is like 33 base, which that means they'll probably have like, I mean, that's the thing. Maybe if it's like 31 base, and then let's say the tech package is like 33, and then the advance is like 35. I think that 35 grand would be very compelling if it was, let's say, advance, A-spec advance, 36.5 out the door. That would be a very compelling price, right? So now if they came out with the Type S, and then the Type S would come in like in a Type S and then a Type S Advance. If the Type S was 5 grand more, and it came with like the RDX motor, the 2 liter, and you've driven the new RDX, the 2 liter, 274 horsepower turbo mode, basically the detuned Civic Type R.
Civic Type R. Yeah.
I think that would be a good motor.
They do it, because that would be really cool. Really exciting.
Yeah.
If they gave the Type S like a 2.0 liter, motor with the turbo. That would be.
Yeah,
a lot of people like that.
Only thing is, so I almost feel like there's room to make like a nice Type R. So let's say let's say the Type R, it comes out, it'll probably be base price like 40 grand, 42 grand, right? So the Type R's got the 305-6 horsepower 2 liter motor. If Acura did the same motor, gave it SH all-wheel drive, and then and then gave it an option for a manual, maybe not a manual, maybe just the DCT, and maybe a manual, I'd love a manual, but if they made it like a luxurious version of the Type R, I would totally buy that. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause the Type S is supposed to be like luxurious but fast. It's like performance but comfort, with comfort. So if this was like an all-wheel drive Civic Type R, I mean, you could charge 45 for it, easy. 45, 47.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool.
Dude, that would be cool. I mean, it would, and by giving it all-wheel drive, it wouldn't compete. Excuse me.
That's a good idea.
It wouldn't compete with the Civic Type R. It would sell like hotcakes too, man.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? If they made it a DCT, so dual clutch automatic and SH all-wheel drive only, it would still sell, and it would be a faster all-wheel drive version of the Civic Type R, and they wouldn't compete at all with the Civic Type R, because the Civic Type R is a manual, and the purist front-wheel drive guys would be all about the Type R. And like, one of the reasons why the Type R is still front-wheel drive and why I think it will remain front-wheel drive is because like a lot of guys want to keep it front-wheel drive because they take it racing. So if they make it all-wheel drive, then it will compete in a different class. So might as well have the fastest car in the front-wheel drive class, and then the Civic Type R could compete directly with like the Golf R, which is an all-wheel drive turbo car. You know?
Yeah.
And the Golf R is all-wheel drive, turbo, and a hatch. So basically, it'll be the same thing. I actually made a mistake. So this, the Integra is actually the SI version of the new Civic hatchback, not the same thing as the Civic SI. It's actually if the hatch Sport came out in the SI version, that would be the new Integra.
That would be the new Integra?
Yeah, because the same lines and proportions, because it's the exact same thing pretty much.
It does look kind of like the hatch.
So
the hatch.
Yeah. So I don't mind that it shares the same platform, just because that's how Honda did before. Now a lot of people are gonna be upset and this and that, and Acura should have the same platform, but given the cost and stuff like that, you know, I completely understand. And we're gonna talk about the new Nissan in another video, the new 400Z. That will be in for a separate.
400Z, yeah.
And we have a lot of opinions on that one, so stay tuned for that. But so to summarize, I like it, man. I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
I like your renders.
I mean,
like that looks sick, dude. If the actual production car looks like your render, that looks.
Okay. I take that back. I like my render. I'm okay with the new Integra base prototype that they came out with. I think it'll look better once you see it in
person
and with, you know, regular colors like white and
let me ask you this.
Silver.
You think the
would I buy it? No, I wouldn't buy it, but maybe for like my sister.
Does it kind of look like they ripped it off of the new TLX? The front end kind of reminds me of the TLX.
Oh, which one? The one that I made?
The new Integra.
I mean, it looks different because I don't know. It looks different because
to me, the new Integra, it kind of looks like an ILX that it kind of evolved into a TLX.
That's basically what it is. I mean,
yeah.
But at the same time, like, people complain about the ILX. The outgoing ILX, even though it's based on like a Civic that's like 2 generations old now, in A-spec form, it's a good looking car. I've seen a couple on the road.
I saw one on the road the other day.
It catches my eye. It caught my eye. I was like, oh, you know what? That actually doesn't look bad. Exterior wise, interior, it's a little old.
Yeah. All I can say is this car is I hope it's just like really fun to drive. Drives great. You know, like once it comes out.
I think it'll drive great.
Like, driving is believing, so when you drive the car, you'll see how the car really is.
I think it'll drive great because everybody loves the new SI. Only thing is, it's slow. 200 horsepower is not a lot of power. It's crazy, like, after over 20 years, it's only gained, 30 horsepower from the GSR? You know, I mean, actually, yeah, barely. Like, I guess if you had to compare it to the RSX, which is basically the last Integra. Yeah, like
DC5.
It's just not a lot of power. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
needs more power.
It'll drive fine. It's a front-wheel drive, sport sedan-ish car. in its segment, it'll be competitive because every other car in that class will be around 200 horsepower ish. You know, they're competing.
I hope the Type S, when it comes out, it doesn't let us down. I hope it'll have like good power and be really fun to drive.
Yeah,
I feel like 1.5 liter turbo in Integra is, I don't know.
Now that
doesn't get me excited. I mean, it'll probably be okay, but if they're gonna come out with the Type S or something beyond that, they need to give it more power.
100%. So, if the new WRX wasn't so freaking ugly, that would be the runaway winner in this class as far as like, fun to drive manual sport cars and the low 30s. Just because the WRX, we're talking WRX limited, out the door, it's probably gonna be like 34 grand.
For WRX.
And that in my opinion, that's as far as driving dynamics, that's gonna be the top of the class. But this is gonna be way nicer on the inside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I wouldn't buy the base model. I would consider the Type S, but because of where I'm at in my life, 200 horsepower is just not a lot. I like the feeling.
For a car enthusiast, you're gonna want the sportier model.
Yeah, I mean, I love the FK8, and I'd be all about the FK8 or for me, the Civic Type R, the new one, is what I'm really jacked about. Like, that car is something that I would honestly put in my garage. I would put a down payment right now and buy it. Like, that car is, it looks so good in concept photos. But that's the car that I would buy. And if they came out with the Type S version that can compete with that, I would spend more money to get that version. So that's kind of where my head's at with this car. So that wraps it up, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please like, comment. Let us know what you think about the car. What do you think? Would you buy the Integra? Would you buy the Integra Type S? What do you want in the Integra Type S? So the next topics that we're going to cover are the TLX Type R rendering that I did, which you can see right here. And also the 400Z and some other things. I want to do this more frequently. I want to do this more often. And again, I want to get the ball rolling so that way we could develop or build a big enough audience that we could have live discussions and live chats and just have good talks just about cars. I just want to shoot the shit with a bunch of people that are like-minded and have the same interests as me. So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. What do you think, bro?
Unreal. That thing is sick.
We heard you coming from like